Now, the European Commission has recommended that Ukraine be given official candidate status in its application to join the European Union.
Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky has welcomed the move and says he expects EU member states to approve his country's candidate status at a leaders' summit next week. And to discuss this, we're joined now by retired military general in the Australian Army, Mick Ryan. Retired General, it's great to have you on the program again. Just clear up what exactly this candidate status means.
Well, in essence, it means they're not quite in yet, but it's a really important step from the EU to hopefully fast-track the Ukraine's entry into this important body, because in the medium and long term, Ukraine is going to need a lot of economic assistance as it rebuilds after this Russian invasion.
When you say it fast tracks, what sort of timeline are we talking about?
I think that will depend on the member states agreeing, but as we've seen with Finland and Sweden going into NATO, it is possible to ensure countries join these unions much more quickly than would otherwise be the case when there is a threat to those nations.
Now, another interesting thing that happened this week is that dozens of Australians, including journalists, defence officials, were added to this list of sanctioned people by Russia. And in fact, you were included on this list. How does it make you feel to be included on that list, and what's the purpose of it?
When I woke up yesterday morning and saw my name on the list, which was not expected, I had a real spring on my step. I'm proud to be on that list and be one of those who are bringing a little bit of transparency to this brutal and unwarranted invasion of a sovereign democracy. Really, this is just tit for tat from the Russians based on Australian military, humanitarian and economic assistance to Ukraine, which I hope will continue and indeed increase in the coming weeks and months.
Is this revenge for the West targeting Russian individuals who are wealthy and have power?
Oh, absolutely. That's part of it. As we see when diplomats get expelled, there's always tit for tat, and this is very much part of that same playbook.
Looking at what's happening on the ground now in Ukraine, what's the latest on the ground?
Well, in the east, the Russians continue to make slow progress, but at great cost, although the Ukrainians have launched a couple of local counterattacks around Izum. In the south, the Ukrainians are slowly gaining back their territory in Kherson region. And north of Kharkiv, we're seeing a bit of a slugfest between the Russians and Ukrainians as the Russians seek to push the Ukrainians back from the border.
You wrote an article this week saying that Ukraine must maintain the West's attention if they're going to win this war. Why is that so key?
Well, Western populations are distracted by a whole range of issues at the moment besides Ukraine. In particular, interest rate rises in many countries are leading to increases in the cost of living, cost of fuel, food, and a range of other costs that are the basics of living for many of us. So that will prove to be a distraction for people and therefore for the governments. So for the Ukrainian government, they will have to continue demonstrating why they're worth supporting. Now, it's clear that supporting a fellow democracy is vital for all of us, but they'll need to ensure that the West doesn't lose patience and continues to provide important military and economic support.
Just finally, Ukraine's President Zelensky has invited the Prime Minister Anthony Albanese to come and visit Kyiv. We've seen other world leaders take up that invitation. Do you think Anthony Albanese should and will take up that invitation?
Oh, absolutely. I think he should. I mean, this is the hottest invitation in the world for a global leader to go and meet with President Zelensky, but to most importantly, to see what things are like on the ground, to look the Ukrainians in the eye, to see the pressure they are under, to see how they have suffered, but also to see the tremendous courage and resilience they've demonstrated and why they, as a young sovereign democracy, are worth supporting.
Retired Major General Mick Ryan, it's great to have you on the program this morning. Thanks very much for your time.
Thank you.